Nissan used to be great. Cars like the Maxima were fun, reliable, and built to last. But after merging with Renault, things went downhill. Quality dropped, reliability suffered, and their reputation took a massive hit. One of Nissan's biggest flaws is its CVT transmission. They were one of the first to use it, but instead of innovation, they got disaster. Their CVTs fail early, often before 100,000 miles. To fix it, expect to pay around $4,000 to $5,000. The Sentra and Pathfinder are some of the worst offenders. Owners deal with breakdowns and endless frustration. But the problems don't stop there. Nissan's engines have serious design issues. Some burn oil too fast. Others leak oil like a sieve. Repairs are expensive, and issues show up much sooner than they should. It's no surprise that Nissan has been drowning in recalls, from faulty Takata airbags to rusting body panels. Their cars seem to have one issue after another. Even their infotainment systems are outdated and glitchy. Almost new Nissans sell for under $20,000, but nobody wants them. They have bad transmissions, weak engines, and poor reliability. Land Rover. The relative luxury of Land Rover does not in any way promote its reliability. Underneath the sleek design, it's full of problems. Shoddy components, cheap seals, and leaky sunroofs are just the start. Owners deal with constant electrical failures and air suspension breakdowns. If you buy one, be ready for frequent, expensive repairs. People say quality and reliability go hand in hand, but Land Rover proves that's not always true. A well-built car should last, yet these struggle to hit 100,000 miles without serious issues. A decade ago, their suspension and electronics were a mess. Tata took over in 2008, but the problems never went away. The resale value is terrible. A 5 to 6-year-old Land Rover sells for way less than its original price. Even budget-friendly American and Japanese SUVs hold value better. Nobody wants the headache. Buying one is just the beginning. Maintenance is brutal. Brakes and tires need replacing every 15,000 miles. That's up to $5,000 gone. Software glitches, sky-high repair costs, and high theft rates only make things worse. Despite the premium price, Land Rover ranks near the bottom in consumer reliability ratings. A $55,000 Land Rover Evoque has worse reliability than a $30,000 Toyota RAV4. That says it all. Unless you enjoy constant breakdowns and emptying your wallet, stay far away. Jeep. Out of 43 car brands in the United States, Jeep ranks near the bottom 10 in sales growth. That means over 30 brands are doing better. Can you even name that many? If you're using a Jeep strictly for off-roading, it makes sense. But for daily driving, it's a nightmare. The ride is rough, the handling is bad, and the interior feels cheap. Similarly, the tech is outdated, plus don't expect speed. Most Jeeps are slow. Every Jeep model gets complaints. Wrangler, Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Gladiator, Renegade, Compass, none are safe. Jeep hasn't made the IIHS top safety pick since 2019. Their sales are dropping, market share is shrinking, and owners are losing faith. It's clear the brand has failed American buyers over and over again. The Grand Cherokee and Compass get tons of complaints. One time, the Wrangler ranked as one of the least reliable cars, even making Consumer Reports' top 10 least reliable cars in 2020. The Gladiator is not doing much better. Some Jeep owners even joke JEEP stands for Just Empty Every Pocket, and they're not wrong. Repairs are frequent, parts are expensive, and maintenance costs add up fast. General Motors, GM. GM has been around for over a century. They've made some good cars, but many have been complete failures. One of the biggest complaints is cheap build quality. The cars come with flimsy interior materials, poorly made controls, and trim pieces that wear out fast. Their paint jobs are inconsistent, leading to early rust problems. Even their trucks, like the Silverado, have had drive shaft vibration issues for years. Mechanical failures make it a hard sell. Some of their worst mistakes include undersized head bolts in the North Star engine, which cause catastrophic engine failure. Their transmission control module issue affects hundreds of thousands of vehicles. Sadly, GM knows about this problem, but instead of fixing it, they leave customers with the bill. Many models have been recalled over the years. The 2014 ignition switch recall was one of the worst. GM only recalls vehicles when legally forced, not when it's the right thing to do. Customer service is a complete disaster. One-star ratings everywhere, complaints about ignored warranties, bad repairs, and slow response times keep piling up. At this point, GM has lost its way. If you want a car that lasts, you might want to look somewhere else. Chrysler. This brand has a reputation for cheap materials, bad engineering, and constant breakdowns. Their interiors feel flimsy, almost like they were made from recycled plastic toys. Owners say their cars fall apart too soon, and Chrysler has done little to fix the problem. They rush production, leading to bad assembly and poor fit and finish. Quality control has been an issue for decades. Chrysler has changed hands multiple times. Daimler-Benz, Cerberus, Fiat, and now Peugeot. But the problems never seem to go away. Even their most popular models have issues. The Pacifica minivan and their sedans have been recalled multiple times. Engine stalling, faulty cruise control, and gear shifters that cause rollaways are just a few of the problems. Roughly 15,000 Pacificas were recalled in 2018 due to engine control software failures and battery defects. Repairs are not cheap. As revealed by RepairPal, the average annual repair cost is $683, which is higher than the industry average. And don't count on the warranty. Dealerships often blame the owner to avoid warranty work. Even when they do, the process is painfully slow. Many owners just pay out of pocket to avoid the hassle. BMW. Let's be real. If you've ever talked to a BMW owner, you've probably heard the same complaints: high maintenance costs, constant repairs, and overcomplicated engineering. And they're not wrong. BMWs need frequent part replacements, suspension components, cooling systems, and even gaskets. Their engines are highly stressed and over-engineered, which means things wear out faster and repairs cost a fortune. The N2328i has timing chain issues, the N55-powered 335i leaks oil, and the N63V8 constantly drains its battery. The problem gets worse with used BMWs. A brand new M4 costs over $80,000, but after 10 years, you can find one for $25,000. That price drop attracts buyers who can afford the car, but not the upkeep. BMWs aren't built for long-term reliability, they're built for performance, status, and driving pleasure. When things go wrong, BMW isn't quick to help. They drag out warranty claims and refuse to fix major issues unless the car completely stops running. Owners struggle with delays, ignored issues, and terrible customer service. On top of that, BMW dealerships use pushy sales tactics, selling buyers on the dream of luxury only to leave them with years of expensive repairs. And let's not forget, they recalled 720,000 plus vehicles over faulty water pumps that could catch fire. That's not just expensive, it's a serious safety concern. Mercedes-Benz. In the 1980s and early 1990s, Mercedes was built like a tank. But around 2000, things changed. They switched to water-based paint, which led to early rust issues. They also loaded their cars with complex technology. Great when new, but a nightmare to repair once the warranty expires. Mercedes vehicles are not low maintenance. Their dual-clutch transmissions and turbocharged engines require frequent servicing. Skipping oil and filter changes can lead to serious problems. The 7G-tronic gearbox used in most models for the last 10 years needs on-time servicing to avoid damage. When things go wrong, repair bills easily climb into the thousands. Luxury should mean a smooth, quiet ride, but Mercedes has issues here too. Hydraulic engine mounts wear out, leading to excessive vibration and noise. Air suspension components fail and cause uneven ride height and poor handling. Even the gearbox mounts are known to wear out, adding rattling and cabin noise. Fuel economy is not great. Mercedes prioritizes performance over efficiency, so expect poor gas mileage, especially in city driving. Jaguar. Their interiors feel outdated. Jaguar hasn't made any major design changes since 2014, making them feel old and uninspired. Their after-sales service is also lacking, with many customers complaining about long wait times and poor support. The Jaguar F-Pace is one of the worst offenders. It suffers from instrument cluster failures, overheating engines, and mysteriously drained batteries. These problems led to 12 manufacturer safety recalls and a ranking as the least reliable vehicle in 2019 by Consumer Reports. What's really disappointing is that Jaguar still carries this air of sophistication, yet the execution doesn't match the brand's image. I've heard of heated seats that stop working in the dead of winter and window motors that fail when you least expect it. Owners have reported infotainment systems rebooting randomly while driving, which is more than just an inconvenience. It's a distraction. Then there's the mystery of electrical gremlins. Battery drains with no explanation, lights that flicker for no reason, and software glitches that leave you scratching your head. And if you think these issues are rare, just check any Jaguar owner forum. It's a minefield of shared pain. The cost to fix these problems is eye-watering. Something as basic as replacing a touchscreen can run into 4 figures. Add in labor and the time your car spends stuck at the dealership, and it feels like you're paying luxury prices just to stay afloat. The worst part? These problems don't discriminate. Whether it's a brand new F-Pace or a used XE, the problems creep in early and often. For many owners, the initial joy of owning a Jaguar quickly turns into a cycle of service visits, parts delays, and mounting frustration. That kind of ownership experience completely undermines what the brand used to stand for. At this point, the badge means more trouble than prestige. Volkswagen. Volkswagen has a mixed reputation in the US. Some people see it as a piece of history, while others see it as unreliable. Either way, it's not the best choice. Repairs are expensive and complicated. Many mechanics aren't familiar with Volkswagen's layout, making even simple fixes a hassle. Unlike Japanese brands, which any mechanic can work on, VWs still frustrate repair shops. And since many parts need to be imported, repairs take longer and cost more. Volkswagen's engineering is a double-edged sword. Their engines are solid, and corrosion resistance is better than most, but electrical components fail often. Sensors, software, AC compressors, and infotainment systems cause endless problems. Their reputation took an even bigger hit with the diesel emissions scandal. There have been numerous recalls. The NHTSA recalled nearly 80,000 Volkswagens due to defective software. This caused dashboard displays to fail, making speedometers disappear and rear-view cameras stop working. That's not just an inconvenience, it's a safety concern. Some believe an 8-year-old Jetta is better than an 18-year-old Corolla, but with Volkswagen's reliability issues, expensive repairs, and software failures, many owners end up regretting the purchase. Audi. This brand is eye candy. It looks good, feels premium, and drives well when new, but it won't stay that way for long. First, Audi ranks just above the industry average in J.D. Power's long-term reliability study. That's not great for a luxury brand. A few owners brag about hitting 100,000 miles, but 200,000 miles? That's a nightmare. The engine, fuel pump, and electronics will fight you every step of the way. Repairs are outrageously expensive. A fuel pump replacement is around $2,000, and that's just one example. Owners also report constant electronic failures, warning lights that won't turn off, and cars breaking down well before their time. The Q5, for example, may have to be towed because every single car alarm goes off at once. You don't want that. The brand is obsessed with complex technology, which means more small parts that fail easily. Even basic maintenance is frustratingly expensive. Dealerships love welcoming your Audi in for service, but if your warranty is up, prepare to dig deep. And since Audi dealerships are limited, expect long wait times for repairs. Fuel economy is decent, but that won't save you. Owning an Audi is like a luxury trap. Volvo. It may surprise you to see Volvo on this list. The brand is known for safety, but safe doesn't mean reliable. Consumer Reports gave the Volvo XC40 a below-average reliability rating for 2022 and 2023, with several issues reported in test and owner feedback. Even the 2024 models have shown only slight improvement. Some of the worst models include the 2021 XC90, 2022 XC60, and 2023 XC40. Owners report climate control failures and in-car electronics breaking down. Simply put, Volvo suffers from electrical problems that affect the engine and other key components. Fixing these issues isn't cheap. You'll need frequent car checks, and repairs aren't small expenses. On average, owners spend $769 per year on maintenance. Over 10 years, that adds up to $13,513, more than many better and more reliable brands. Brakes have also been a major problem. A recall was issued due to a software failure that prevented the braking assist from activating. That's a serious safety risk. Nobody wants to deal with that. Volvo's styling and comfort are its strongest features, but when it comes to long-term reliability and repair costs, it's a brand you might want to think twice about. What makes it even more frustrating is that Volvo builds a strong emotional connection with buyers. There's this idea that you're stepping into a thoughtful, responsible, forward-thinking ownership experience, but then the glitches start. I've seen infotainment systems freeze mid-navigation, backup cameras fail without warning, and digital dashboards go blank while driving. It's unsettling when a brand rooted in safety can't keep essential systems running reliably. Then there's the battery drain issue. Owners of plug-in hybrid models have complained about inconsistent charging, batteries losing range too quickly, and in some cases, needing full battery replacements after just a few years. That's not just inconvenient, it's costly and unsustainable for most drivers. The promise of electrification and sustainability feels hollow when you're spending thousands to replace something that shouldn't fail that soon. Volvo's interiors are beautiful, no doubt, minimalist, clean, and Scandinavian chic. But materials inside don't always age well. I've noticed premature wear on leather seats, buttons losing their symbols, and center consoles showing signs of use far too early. For a premium brand, that's not what you expect after only a couple years on the road. And resale value? It doesn't hold up well. Once a Volvo has a couple years on it and a few electrical gremlins in its history, its resale market shrinks fast. Buyers shy away from the risk, and even dealers tend to undervalue trade-ins. You're left either eating the loss or trying to convince someone that your Volvo won't do to them what it did to you. At the end of the day, Volvo still has a lot going for it. Safety tech, modern aesthetics, and a certain quiet prestige. Cadillac. Cadillac used to carry this aura of American luxury. Sleek, powerful, iconic. I used to think owning one was a step into prestige. But lately, that shine has worn off. Their reliability has taken a nosedive, and it's honestly disappointing to see. According to Consumer Reports, they scored just 27 out of 100 for predicted reliability in 2025. That's not just low, it's alarmingly bad. Every time I hear someone talk about Cadillac now, it's the same story. Random electronic glitches, stubborn transmissions, or some engine issue that shows up way too early. And don't get me started on the recalls. It feels like Cadillac's been in damage control mode for years now. Even with their recent push to modernize, sleeker designs, new tech, it still falls flat when your car won't run smoothly for more than a few years. It feels like they're pouring glitter over a cracked foundation. I want to root for Cadillac, but it's tough when dependability doesn't show up for the ride. I've talked to owners who expected an upgrade from more mainstream brands, only to feel let down within months. They describe warning lights that appear out of nowhere, engines misfiring without any clear reason, and touchscreens that freeze during a simple task like changing the radio. One of the most frustrating things? The service experience. Getting these issues fixed isn't just expensive, it's also slow. Parts are back-ordered, diagnostic results are inconclusive, and dealers often point the blame at wear and tear just to avoid honoring the warranty. And we're not talking about minor fixes. Some of these repairs cost thousands, even when the car is only a few years old. Then there's the depreciation. A $60,000 Cadillac can lose value shockingly fast, especially when reliability concerns scare off secondhand buyers. It's like the car becomes a liability the moment it's driven off the lot. Even models with strong curb appeal and fancy tech features are overshadowed by the sheer number of problems owners face. It's a shame because Cadillac should be competing with the best, but the gap keeps widening, and unless something changes dramatically, they're going to keep losing customer trust. At this point, for me, prestige just isn't worth the price of constant headaches. GMC. GMC has this rugged image, trucks and SUVs that look like they're ready for anything, but peel back the surface and things get shaky real fast. When I see GMC's reliability score, 33 out of 100, I know there's trouble brewing under the hood. I keep seeing patterns, engine problems that just don't make sense on relatively new vehicles, transmission slipping, and dashboard lights lighting up like a Christmas tree for no reason. It's frustrating because these aren't budget vehicles. We're talking serious money here. And the repair bills, they don't hold back. Every fix feels like a gamble with your savings. GMC trucks might look ready for the long haul, but from what I've seen and heard, they just don't go the distance. When every repair starts to feel like a recurring nightmare, it makes you question your buying choices. One thing that really bugs me is how often these problems pop up just after the warranty ends. It's like clockwork. Right when you think you're in the clear, boom, major failure. I've heard of infotainment systems going dark for no reason, and climate controls that decide to stop working in the middle of summer. Towing capacity might be solid on paper, but what good is that when the suspension is already whining under normal driving? And for a brand that markets professional grade, the fit and finish feels surprisingly inconsistent. Panels don't line up, plastics feel cheap, and interior components rattle more than they should. Maintenance is another pain point. Regular service costs add up quickly, and parts don't come cheap. Chevrolet. Chevy's been around forever. You grow up hearing the name in movies, songs, and ads that make it sound like America's heartbeat. But behind all that nostalgia, the reality is kind of rough. They scored a 37 out of 100 in reliability, and it really shows. What gets me is how varied the issues are. I've seen Chevys with engine knocks at 60,000 miles. Others have transmission problems that sneak up out of nowhere. Then you've got the electronics. Backup cameras freezing, sensors acting up, random warning lights. And sure, some models do offer great features. But what good are features if you're always at the mechanic trying to get the basics fixed? It feels like every time Chevy takes 2 steps forward, reliability pulls them 5 steps back. I've seen friends grow completely frustrated with their Chevys, unexpected stalling, touchscreen systems that lag or glitch mid-drive, and seats that start squeaking like an old couch. Even the little conveniences like automatic windows or climate control can act up out of nowhere. Then there's the issue of recalls. So many recalls, sometimes it feels like you spend more time in the service bay than on the road. The most painful part is that people buy Chevys thinking they're getting dependable workhorses, only to be hit with repair bills and unexplained problems. And don't expect to breeze through warranty claims. Getting things fixed under warranty often feels like pulling teeth. Tesla. There's a part of me that admires Tesla. The tech, the innovation, the way they flipped the car world on its head, it's exciting. But man, the build quality just doesn't hold up to the hype. Tesla scored 36 out of 100 in reliability, and honestly, it makes sense. I've seen Teslas with misaligned panels, rattling trim, and infotainment screens that randomly freeze. One guy I know had his Tesla's door handle break 3 times in 1 year. That kind of stuff eats into your confidence fast. Even though the driving experience is impressive, it doesn't change the fact that basic quality checks seem like an afterthought. I get that they're still growing and evolving, but at this price point, I shouldn't be holding my breath every time I unlock the car, hoping nothing's gone wrong again. There's something strange about driving a car that's futuristic in features, but primitive in consistency. I've heard of Teslas with trunk latches that stop working and windows that randomly roll themselves down. Owners talk about phantom braking on highways, where the car slams on the brakes for no reason. Terrifying and dangerous. The service experience? Hit or miss. Some people get quick fixes, others wait weeks just to book an appointment. It feels like Tesla's still operating with startup energy in a world where they're expected to be mainstream ready. I've also noticed things like cheap feeling plastics in spots you'd never expect in a so-called luxury car. And don't even get me started on range anxiety when software updates suddenly reduce performance. Alfa Romeo. There's something about Alfa Romeo that draws you in. The design, the Italian flair, the idea of driving something rare. But behind all that style lies a mountain of problems. Their reliability score sits at 41 out of 100, and from what I've seen, that might even be generous. Electrical issues, random warning lights, check engine codes that refuse to clear, and transmissions that feel like they have a mind of their own. Those are just the highlights. And when something does break, you better believe the parts are expensive and the wait times are long. Problems show up fast, sometimes under 30,000 miles, and even simple repairs like battery changes can feel like a nightmare. Infotainment systems crash, navigation freezes, and owners have joked about making daily checklists for what still works. Resale value tanks hard, and finding a buyer who's willing to take on the risks is a job in itself. There's a saying that you don't own an Alfa, you survive it. And honestly, that's the most accurate description I've heard. Fiat. Topping the list, and not in a good way, is Fiat. Honestly, I've never seen a brand fall apart this fast. With a reliability score of 44 out of 100, Fiat just hasn't managed to prove itself in the long run. Owners constantly report issues with engines that sputter, transmissions that jerk and slip, and electronics that flicker like they're haunted. Even basic quality feels like an afterthought. I've sat in a few recent models, and the materials feel flimsy, the controls clunky. I know they're cheap, and that might be tempting, but when you're spending hundreds, if not thousands, every year just keeping the thing running, it stops being a deal. The most frustrating part is how fast things go wrong. We're not talking about problems years down the line. Some owners start running into issues in the first 10,000 miles. Electrical bugs are one of the most common complaints. Lights blink erratically, dashboard warnings won't shut off, and entertainment systems glitch constantly. The Fiat 500 in particular seems to be the worst offender. It looks fun and quirky from the outside, but under the hood, a completely different story. Mechanical reliability is low and resale value is even worse. Try trading one in after a few years and you'll see how little dealers are willing to offer. For a brand that markets itself on style and value, Fiat ends up delivering a frustrating, unreliable ride that just isn't worth the risk. If you found this helpful, like, subscribe, share your car stories below, and stay tuned.